Hello, I'm Greg Rutke of Rutke Mods, and welcome to episode 19 of season 2 of my PowerPC series. Now, I decided to postpone the cube upgrade overclock video until probably season 3, which is just in 2 episodes from now. But I wanted to do this first, and I also want to do a special season finale Mac for episode 20. So we're going to overclock my MDD. As we know, I've had a lot of problems with my MDD, and this system right now is running a dual 1.42 gigahertz G4 in it. And we are going to be overclocking it today with a soldering iron, and I'll be showing you how we're going to do that. We're going to overclock it to 1.5 gigahertz. Now, overclocking it to 1.5 gigahertz will give it a nice little boost, and this thing already performs close to what like a dual 1.8 gigahertz aftermarket Sonic card would have done, basically because of the L3 cache in it. The L3 cache is actually really important in processing. And the 7455s had L3 cache support and had L3 cache on the card. L3 cache is an external cache, and it's found on the card. If the CPU is not compatible with L3 cache, of course, even if it's on the card, it won't work. So these came with L3 cache. All 745X, 745X CPUs came with L3 cache support. That's why the 7457 is the upgrade for this. And that's why these chips are slightly bigger than the 744X CPUs. Now, the aftermarket cards use 7447s and 7448s. There were never any 745. I'm getting confused. There's a lot of numbers here. There were never any 7457 upgrades for these. But if I ever find any, I'm going to have Colin actually rebuild this card with 7457s. But right now, this is a 7455. The L3 cache is very good on here. When we have this overclocked to 1.5, it will be closer to a 1.8, and you know, I'll even compare it to my friend's 2 gigahertz. He overclocked his 1.8 to a 2 gigahertz. Jay Vrij, hey Jay. I'll even link a link to his blog that he has been doing updates on his MDD. I talked him into overclocking that, and so yeah, I'll do a link to that in the description below, and basically we'll compare the speeds of this to his 2.0, and his will still beat me, but the L3 cache will really make this thing close. So let's get to it. Okay, so right now we are at a dual 1.42 as we see here, and you can see the 2 megabytes of L3 cache per processor. So that's 4 megabytes of L3 cache. That's a lot. Trust me on that. So we will be shutting the system down, of course, unplugging everything, of course, and pulling the CPU out. So let's get to it. Okay, so here is the cleaned off dual 1.42. Well, I might need to clean it a little more, but here's it mostly cleaned off. You can see the 1.42 G4s in it, as we see here. And we need to change the PLL jumpers on here. And to do that, we need to remove some resistors here. I've marked the PLLs. There's a set on the front and a set on the back right here, as we can see. Okay, I've got to take all of the resistors off this group right here, from here down, and from here to there. Okay, I gotta take those off, and from what I've been reading online from this old website that is now on archive backup because it's been down for years, basically the only thing I have to do is get the top one set. So I might actually be able to leave the top one here, and that will set that to 1.5, and I just need to remove those two. And then on the other one, it too is supposed to be the top one, so it looks like I may not have to do any soldering at all. In fact, I just have to take the two bottom ones off here and the two off there, and we should in theory be all right. So we'll see. Okay, so I don't have any precision tweezers with me. I know I have some, but I can't seem to find them. So we're going to try to remove them with this little spudger here and just kind of push them off the board as we heat them up. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so there's the front, and now let's do the back. Clean this tip off some. Now the tutorial page I was reading on, he was doing a dual 1.25, which is a very different card, but he said this is the same on all cards, but this one was laid out differently. It's the black sheep of the family when it comes to these, so I'm hoping that he was truthful and this just works. And I hope I'm doing the right jumpers. So we'll find out pretty soon. Okay. And there's the back. We will now hopefully make it work. We'll plug it in and see what happens. Okay, so we have everything installed back together. My SATA cable might be damaged. I don't know what happened to it. So if it bongs and starts posting and it doesn't boot, the SATA cable's damaged. So we'll see. I might have closed it in the case. I'm not really sure. But anyway, if that happens, I've got another one laying around. We'll replace it. But other than that, let's just hope it boots up. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. I'm really nervous. As you can tell, I might be shaking a little bit. This is a 1.42 G4. These are really hard to find. They were very rare. Of course, they only sold them for 6 months. And only a handful of people really bought them. So if I've broken this card, I may never find another one, at least an affordable one. So let's hope it bongs. Oh, it bonged. Let's see what happens. Hey, we got the screen coming on. Oh, I hope this works. The SATA cable seems to still be working. That's good. I still might replace it though. And my air conditioner just kicked on. So I apologize for that. I'll have to see if it boots up, and then we'll shut the air conditioner off and then continue. Okay, it's booted up so far. Everything looks like it's working. So I'm going to quickly turn off the air conditioner, and then we'll see if I overclocked it properly. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so I got my air conditioner turned off. Let's see if it is overclocked about this Mac. Here we go. We have a dual 1.5 gigahertz PowerPC G4. More info. Yep, it's reading at 1.5 gigahertz. Let's close out System Profiler. Make sure there's nothing running in the background. And we will see what Geekbench tells us. So, open up Geekbench. When I find it, here it is. And as we can see, it even reads it as a 1.5. So let's run the benchmarks and pray. Okay, that's an improvement over the original. I think I can get a little better than that. I'm going to run the Geekbench score a few more times and let the once the CPUs are warmed up. 1279. I can already tell you that the 1.42 was getting a 1218 at max. So it is an improvement, but I think it might be able to get closer to 1300. So I'll run this test a few more times and see what happens. Okay, so I've run the test 4 times, and every time the score has gotten higher. I'm really sick and tired of running the test because they're about 5 minutes per run. So we're going to say it's running a 1288 because the last one was a 1287. So I think it's starting to plateau. As we can see, that is a huge difference of over, what, 70 points? Which is a very good increase when you think about it because, well, it's a lot, trust me. So now we're going to quickly compare this number to Jay's number. And I'll show you just how important L3 cache really is. So I will pull up his web page and we'll continue on from there. Okay, and welcome to Jay Vrij's blog page. Right now he's building up his MDD to be the ultimate, and I'm trying to beat him, but he got himself a Sonnet Duet 1.8, and I was doing some research on it and figured out you could overclock it to 2 by just removing 1 resistor, and he did it. And this is the story about his side of the story here. And I also told him and talked him into putting the aluminum heat sink on it and stuff to keep it cool. Here's the score he got. Okay, he got 1472. We got 1288. He's got, let's see if I can get this to line up here. He's got, you know, 500 megahertz per core on me. And just look how close the numbers really are. That's actually, it should be astronomically quicker, but that's because of the L3 cache. The L3 cache is so important that whenever I have this CPU card built, even if I got the thing up to maybe 1.7 or so, it would blow Jay's 2 gigahertz 7447 dual out the water. And I really want to do that one day. But right now, Jay still has the top dog of the MDDs. I believe there was a company that made a 2.2 gigahertz from their factory, which was a 4778. Those are impossible to find. I found them a while back. But even that, I believed, with a good 4, I keep saying the number wrong, 7457, with those things overclocked on a stock factory card like mine, I'd say it would even blow that out the water at a lower speed, and that's because of the L3 cache. That is a big difference. Also, you've got to remember, Jay's running this on Tiger. If I ran this on Tiger also, I may even get a higher score, because you know how Leopard has such a high overhead. But I decided not to do that. But anyway, I recommend you guys go check out Jay's House of Moth of website. He's also the guy that does the Apple serial number website to look up your Apple serial number and stuff. He's a great guy. He's also one of my Patreon supporters and a good friend, and a bad influence. I guess I'm a bad influence for him, and he's a bad influence for me. But as you can tell, doing a 1.5 overclock is a big difference. Before I wrap up the video, I do want to run one more thing, and that's an X bench. So we will close out all this stuff real quick. Maybe. And close out 10.4 Fox. We'll open up X bench. And we'll start that. Okay, the test is already over. That was actually really quick. We'll save this file. Save. And we'll reveal the number after we open up the 1.42 benchmark. The 1.42 got a 67.9. This got a 72.17. It's a substantial increase based off of, you know, it only went, what is it? 800 megahertz quick? No. 80 megahertz quicker. 800, that would be a big difference. But it only was increased 80 megahertz, you know. And 80 megahertz made a big difference here, too. As we can see the numbers. Huge difference. So anyway, yeah, I'm happy with this so far. I will be continuing to do benchmarks on this. I'll let this thing run YouTube. That's my main benchmark to see if it's stable. I'll let this run YouTube through the night and see if it keeps running. And if it's stable, it's successful. And I think it will be. even with the aluminum heatsink on it. Like I said, you know, having twice the surface area as the copper, it still cools about the same as the copper, and it's a lot cheaper. So I still swear by the aluminum ones because they're cheaper and they cool about the same. So anyway, yeah, so that's the overclock of the MDD. Guys, the Power Mac G5 giveaway, believe it or not, still going on. We're getting close. We're down to around 50 people left to enter. So if you want to check that out, just click this link right up here and enter that. And, you know, this is, I believe, a successful overclock, and I'm really happy about it because it's just, it's a screamer, and I'm going to be doing a lot more with it. So anyway, that is the end of the video, and thank you guys for watching. This has been a Rutke Mods video. Hello, I'm Greg Rutke of Rutke Mods, and welcome to episode 19 of season 2 of my PowerPC series. In this short of breath. Whew. Okay. Hello, I'm Greg Rutke of Rutke Mods, and welcome to episode 17 of, that's the wrong episode,